So I'm gonna talk about gun control for war or for peace. So handguns can be easily concealed. So they are the weapon of choice for people who choose to use them for self-defense. Unfortunately, they are also the weapon of choice for criminals. Since handguns are easy for criminals to steal, handguns are readily available on the black market. This makes handguns an attractive choice for criminals. The majority of crimes involving firearms are committed with the use of a handgun. Although most would agree that something must be done, no one seems to have the answer at this point. Some gun control supporters believe that completely banning handguns is the best way to protect citizens. However, banning handguns fails to protect people because the laws are ineffective. Banning handguns prevents people from an effective means of self-defense, and the laws do not solve the real problems, which is the gun owner. It will just make criminals wilder. The people will become more vulnerable. It will just cause chaos between rebels and military forces. Simply banning handguns altogether is ineffective. It will just commit war. The more they ban it, the more crime will occur, and the more people will rebel. Another reason why handgun bans fails to protect people is because they do not deal with the real issue. The real issue behind handgun crimes and violence is not the handgun itself, but rather the owner of the gun. It is sad to see the way society views handguns as an awful epidemic, but laws banning handgun are missing the point. Laws cannot make the decisions of how the handgun will be used for the owner of the gun. It still comes down to the person holding the gun, and that is something a ban cannot change. Handgun bans fails to protect people, and in fact may put people in greater danger because they prevent people from using handguns as an effective means of self-defense. When an individual is responsible and trained properly, handguns are easily the most effective form of self-defense, and the handgun ban takes this option away from them. Handguns will not stop criminals from acquiring guns. They will, however, prevent a law-abiding citizen from buying a gun for self-defense. When he may be a little extreme in stating that laws against guns are laws against self-defense, he does make a good point. Banning handguns leaves the citizens with less self-defense options. When people are stripped of the most effective form of self-defense, they are vulnerable, and this is a serious problem. In a positive side of gun control, there is peace. Others believe that if only trained and trusted people will own a gun, like the police and military, there will be peace and harmony. It is indeed safe if they are the only ones who have guns at the moment. But as I have said earlier, criminals will still have ways to find a gun. They will acquire it by abiding the law. Gun is a weapon for self-defense, and also a weapon of choice for criminals and abusive officials. Also, military will abuse their power because civilians have no self-defense available. Most people understand that something is wrong, and that turning a blind eye to the violence involving handguns is not the answer, but neither is banning them. Handgun bans are ineffective. They prevent a citizen from the most effective means of self-defense, and they do not solve the real problem, which is the owner of the gun. It comes down to responsibility. Each person who chooses to own a gun must be personally responsible for the ways the gun is used. The government is responsible to protect its citizens. No one has the answer for handgun violence problem, but the one certain thing is banning handguns is not the answer. It will just cause chaos.